Snow Treasure, Chapter 9. Peter was sure he had not been mistaken, but here was Thor's rock, and there was no cave anywhere that he could see. There had been a high wall of snow in front of it, he remembered, but look as he would, all he could see were young pines. Ole said it was where the rock curved so you could stand in a heavy rain and not get wet. That's here, he told the others. But for all they searched, they could find neither wall nor cave. It was Lovisa who spied Pergarson's brown face framed in the branches of a young fir. "You said you could get here without help," he teased Peter when they came close. "It's here all the time." There weren't any trees the other night. Peter felt ashamed. He had been so sure he knew just where to find the cave, but he had to be shown after all. "These we fixed to make it seem more real," Pergarson explained. When Peter looked again, he saw that a strip of evergreens made a narrow corridor in front of the wall. "You made it since the night I was here? Since the night before last?" "Yeah, Ole and some others. They came yesterday and finished before the blackout." Peter was still unbelieving, but sure enough, behind the trees was the wall of snow, and back of that, the cave. Pergarson led them around shrubbery to the entrance. "Shouldn't someone stand guard over the door in case the Germans come?" Helga asked. "I'll do it." "Is no need, I think," Pergarson answered. "Still, it is no harm to watch. Spies are everywhere." So Helga posted herself behind the tree where Pergarson had been waiting, and the others went into the cave. There was a strange kind of white light inside. Peter thought it might be like being in one of the sepulchres of the Bible, for the strong sunlight was cut down by the wall in front of the doorway, and a pearly beam fell on the sides and floor. Pergarson went at once to the end where a stack of brown bricks rose up like a garden wall. "Gold," Peter whispered to Michael. "That? Gold?" Peter agreed with Michael that it was hard to believe that each of those brown bricks was enough money to buy an airplane. Pergarson began lifting down the bricks. He laid 4 of them, side by side, on Peter's sled. Then he went to the far side of the cave to a pile of rough brown sacks like potato sacks, the bags that had covered the bricks on their journey to the cave. He carried one of these to Peter's sled. He folded it twice and laid it over the rectangle of bricks. Next, the rope. He produced a new clothesline, and with it began lashing the sack and bricks to the sled. Over and over went the rope. Then he drew out a long knife and cut the clothesline. "We could help you, Pergarson," Peter suggested. "Then we could start sooner." "Nah, this must be done right." "We could do it right." Nah. Your Uncle Victor holds me to blame if anything goes wrong. He says we can't have the rope coming loose and the bricks falling in the snow. One time for that, and the Germans would have our gold." They watched him take down more bricks for the next sled, then more for the next and the next. For an old man, he worked quickly. With each sled, the same procedure. First the bricks, then the sack folded twice, then the clothesline. "Now you tell Helga to come here. I think we can be safe these few minutes." Michael went to get Helga. She had seen nothing more than a few squirrels. "Now I show you how to untie the rope," Pergarson announced. "When you get to the snake, you first look for a pair of trees that are fallen and covered with snow. They're about 200 feet apart. Be sure you find them, for that's the place your uncle thinks is safest. Now you untie the knots, and so, and so. Can you do it? Try." He laced the bricks onto the sled again, and Peter tried to untie them. He was clumsy at first. Instead of openings, he made knots. But after a time, he learned how to untie the rope. When it came Helga's turn, she gave one quick pull, and the rope was dangling from her hand. "Good, you learn things fast," Pergarson praised. Each of them had to prove he knew how to unload the sleds. Michael was slower than Peter to learn. He tried again, and each time succeeded only in making the knots tighter. "Never mind," Peter was anxious to get started. "I'll untie his for him." "Nah, he'll have to know. Next time he'll have to show his team." The lesson went on, and after a time Michael learned the trick. "And can you show the others?" Michael felt he could. "All right then, off with you. You bring back the ropes and sacks. These we need again," Pergarson instructed. "For your pockets, here." He handed each a flat parcel. "Your lunch. For supper you go to Holmes Farm, where you'll get plenty good hot meal." He led the way to the opening. "Now I think it's time you go."